Hello everyone who's watched my videos or hasn't watched my videos before. Today I've decided to try something a little different. Actually, ridiculously different. As you know, given my decorated history as an austere, bulking camboy down eternally for good head, not gonna finish that alphabetical idea. I normally plan every part of my videos out beforehand. Yogurt Zeta attribute, I guess. This time, however, I've decided to try a more impromptu philosophy style because, you know, it takes a while to write full scripts, and I feel like I can often say a lot of unserious things after reading not a lot of serious text. For this video, I'll be looking through r/stoner philosophy and telling you how to solve your ideological contradictions, not via vindictive ideologues, by reading whatever questions ideas have shown up in the past and telling you how I, as a random faceless non-spirited away character on the internet, would solve them. I've forced myself to solve a lot of my own problems like this, so as the only resident philosopher of both Hustlers University and somehow also Floptropica National State, I hope my qualifications speak for themselves. There are no perfect beliefs, no perfect ideas. What us philosophy but filling in a map? Everyone has their own systems of belief to help them navigate the world and process the information they gather, but they can all be philosophically dismantled, even if not at present, maybe one day. So is philosophy a pursuit of the perfect beliefs, or just to find the best of all imperfect thoughts? I feel similar dread regarding symbolic logic, like surely there must be some ultimate logical formulation that is indestructible. It's so easy to ping pong between yes, give me every concrete idea in the universe, press each thought into my brain till I believe everything fully, and alternately, nothing is real, I'm just a shadow, morality is fake, give me 5 gazillion trolley problems, I'll fail to solve every one, while metrosexually speedrunning Hatman encounters. Philosophy is this fun buzzword concept sounding both mystical and highly intellectual, Sun Tzu fan art of Warframe characters now pursued for the word, not the umbrella non-definitions underneath. So it can be surprising when you learn-think your experience with philosophy is actually just an exploration of wavy, maybe unprovable concepts that sound reasonable or unreasonable depending on the speaker or listener or writer or uniquely bored Uber driver. And the problem with hearing that philosophy's ideologies, moralities just inevitably fall when questioned enough, and with the fact that they'll fall too will fall, and so on to infinity, is that most if not all of us are probably human and fallible, despite how much we love infallible ideas. When exposed as an unclear, uncertain, unmanageable discipline and or entity, philosophy starts to represent the deterioration of knowledge, the ruination of comfort, not the truth, but the lack thereof. And when that lack thereof is a lack thereof, when everything falls out from under itself and it's a doom spiral vortex to doomerism, isolationism, absolutist dogma balls, you have to learn how to solve the contradictory problem that exists within most of us, the hatred of not being sure. So when I read a comment saying every belief system can be dismantled, I don't flatly disagree because I can't disagree. I can't give a counterexample, a way to make sure you'll never not be sure. The problem this comment gets at is the problem anyone needs to solve, the non-Bing chilling plunge of uncertainty philosophy has never accessibly sold to a wider, sorta certain populace. The problem isn't the uncertainty itself, but the discomfort at this probably inevitable feature of philosophy. And obviously I still can't really be sure about that. I tried talking to the mic unscripted for a bit, so here's what I had to say when I first read this post. I feel like symbolic logic, it's not an infallible thing, obviously, like it's just the system that humans have learned to understand now, and we have that in our arsenal to use as a way of like reasoning through things and thinking about things, and that's kind of just a tool. It's not any more special than a contradictory system of symbolic logic. I don't think it's any more special than that. That doesn't mean that we should put any more stock in it than like another system. We shouldn't say that this is just an infallible system that will always be perfect, that will always make perfect sense, that will always be amazing. Like, it's just not how it works. And this is why I feel like my attitude toward life and the world is much more, don't necessarily believe anything is true at all. Don't just believe that something is true in all possible situations. One of the reasons for that is because I don't think that anything is infallible. And that might be something that people would disagree with you on, but who cares? Well, that certainly is me, unscripted, unfiltered, unaffected by words written on a page. I always feel like talking about any concept that has ever been talked about, considered, described, solid snake x solid snake rule 34 is just calling forward a thing that could be talked about among all the infinitely connected things that could be talked about, and putting emphasis on it for the second till the concept is gone and Peppa Pig American Dad crossover, a new one arrives to take its place. So, well, yeah, I don't believe in some ultimate indestructible logic form because I don't believe in anything, which is also kind of wrong because I don't necessarily believe anything about what I believe. I do feel a weight and value, however illogical or whatever you want to call it, in any concept, idea, thought, emotion. I see philosophy as just like a part of the whole possible geoguess or mappable tapestry of interwoven things - concepts that could be considered alone or together. And I don't know, I don't really care that there's not some certain beautiful underlying singular thing I can point to in the end. Yes, I do have to include a subscribe message here because if you look at this definitely non-statistical outlier video, over 99.9% of my non-subscribers quit before they win the sight of this aesthetically pleasing, definitely channel unique animation. So subscribe because philosophy or something, and like and or comment for the algorithm so the things I'm saying are also randomly seen by more people. Death anxiety. I always get so anxious about death, that it's close, that I'm wasting time, that I should be living more because I'm closer to death. I sometimes get disgusted by organic materials because I have to think about how they will rot. The passing of time feels like something cutting me into the moments. I'll try my best not to be silly and make fun of people who have this worry because it's real, it's ever present, but it's also aggressively, unavoidably modern and weird. So you're some random person or non-person who popped into the world, felt happiness, sadness, weird stirring feelings down below, and started forming perception, strong urges, weak ambitions. You stared out the window on buses, cars, trains, bikes, camels, elephants, and decided that, no, something's wrong. Something's wrong with life. It's nasty, brutish, and short, right? It's full of pain, sadness, terrible people, only things that are painful, not the things that feel good. You feel empty forever and are just waiting for the end in the back of your mind. Where's your lifelong narrative telling you how the things that upset you are actually serving a greater purpose beyond you? Where's the burning urge to experience, to try, to push beyond the non-existent confines you've set for yourself? Nowhere, since you don't see them. Life is scary. Death is scarier. You play Russian roulette with illnesses, plane crashes, hoping the one-sided prisoner's dilemma will finally be solved without you providing an input. And I don't know, I'm not trying to make any claim about how much pain or absolute bliss you will or can experience in your human or non-human lifetime. I can't know what will or won't happen to any or all of us. But I know that there's a cannibalizing sickness to death anxiety, a desire to doomerize any and every conversation with a supposedly evil secret that death is scary and the real thing no one wants to talk about actually. See the video I made to learn more. A parasitic, unrelenting sickness that's actually just completely pointless and unneeded. Like, hey, a ton of us have figured out our mortal frames are mortal. A ton of us understand that, oh wait, when I die, I may not exist anymore. But the reason we don't panic, we don't go insane, isn't just because of the absurdity of the situation, but because it's not necessary to pay attention to one concept like death out of a trizillion. It's not required for happiness to feel entirely content with, oh, my life may end in some weird, slightly below average number of years. There are people in this world basing their entire finite existences on the thought that existence is finite. Wasting life not by doing suboptimal things, but by thinking in ways that probably won't result in more happiness, community, friendship, physical touch, competition, family building. I could go on forever. The real way to waste life, if you have death anxiety, is obviously by being anxious about death. So while I respect that it's a common feeling, there's a reason I'm so excited to make fun of it. The idea of death just needs to be more trivialized in people's minds, since it's just as much a mythology of existence, oh no, I won't exist anymore, as the idea of hell. Stop acting so scared of death, you donkey. It's just death. I don't know, like pain, pleasure, nothingness, just feelings, just non-feelings. Boo-hoo. Kind of boring, honestly. At a certain point, it doesn't really matter. Start finding or appreciating the things you live for or something. Just to further illustrate this idea, here's some random sentences I said when I first read this post. I'm not criticizing people for having this fear of death. I'm more criticizing the culture around building death up to be this enormous thing that we all need to care about. We all need to focus so much on, oh my god, death is now going to characterize exactly how I talk to people, how my mindset is, what ideology I adopt. Like, it's just this huge thing that everyone thinks matters so much. Death, it's just not this deep. So anyway, thanks so much for listening to me hopefully not tear apart these actually interesting Reddit philosophy questions / problems. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment your own philosophy problems, questions, worries, anything at all. I actually really loved making this video and would really want to do it again in the future using people's comments or problems from some other part of the internet or offline, and maybe even with more specific, less serious, more insane, drama-focused, less academic topics too. The possibilities are endless, maybe. Something I've been paying more attention to lately is my own sincerity, since while I don't really believe anything fully, I do still kind of sort of believe some things a bit. I feel like there should be more online space for talking semi-seriously / unseriously about life or death questions. And while I do love being insincere, I also want to make sure there's more space for considering philosophy concepts sincerely so we can question things about the world, learn from whatever random ideas people call forward from the ether, feel things when the world doesn't match what makes or doesn't make sense. Not just boring old chronically book-bound technical logical talking points, but as relevant and reasonable questions that we should all be prepared to ask as more and more things happen in the future. So as I normally end whatever these videos are, go touch grass or definitely non-flammable gas. Bye.